Hello, everyone, and welcome. Are you ready to really boost your vocabulary? Today, we're going to master 25 new words that will help you read, write, and speak with so much more confidence. We're not just going to memorize them, we're going to understand them. Okay, let's get right into it.
So to make these words easier to remember, we've broken them down into 5 groups that just make sense together. We'll start with words about people, then we'll talk about time and travel, then ideas, some powerful actions, and we'll finish up with words to describe the world.
First up, let's jump into the human element. These are all words that we use to talk about people, their feelings and how they connect with each other. Okay, our first word is pathos. You know that feeling you get when you're watching a really sad movie or reading a book and it just hits you right in the heart? That is pathos. It's a special quality that makes us feel sympathy or sadness for someone.
Pathos is a super powerful tool you'll find pretty much everywhere. I mean, think about a movie scene that makes everyone cry, or a story about a stray animal that just makes you feel for it. Even a powerful speech can be full of pathos to stir up our emotions. That feeling, that's pathos.
Next up, perpetrator. Now this is a more formal or official word for someone who does something wrong or commits a crime. They're the person responsible for the bad act.
You'll hear this word all the time on the news or in crime shows. It's the word they use for the person who did it. The bad guy, especially before they've been proven guilty.
So a platonic relationship is a very deep and close friendship. The key here is that there's no romance involved. It's all about a strong emotional or mental connection, like a best friend.
So really, the word platonic just helps us describe that special kind of bond that's built on deep friendship and respect, but it's completely separate from any romantic feelings.
All right, someone who is perverse knows what the right or sensible thing to do is, but they choose to do the exact opposite. They do it just to be difficult, or maybe because they enjoy going against what's expected. It's being stubborn on purpose.
And you can see how this idea of going against works in different ways. Someone might get a perverse pleasure from annoying people, or you could make a perverse decision that makes no sense. Even a villain could have a dark, perverse sense of humor.
Peculiar is an interesting one. It has 2 main flavors. First, it can just mean unique or special, something that belongs to only one thing. But it can also mean a little bit strange or odd. You have to look at the sentence to know which meaning fits best.
So think of it this way. A fruit could have a peculiar taste, one you've never had before. An island could have a peculiar kind of bird that you can't find anywhere else in the world. Or a person might have a peculiar habit, like talking to their plants. That's just a little strange.
All right, let's move on to our second group. Now we're going to explore words that are all about journeys, whether that means traveling to a new place or thinking about what we get from the past and what we leave for the future.
Peregrination. It sounds like a big word, but the idea is simple. It's a long trip where you're kind of wandering and exploring. Imagine someone just walking across a whole country without a strict plan. For a peregrination, the journey itself is the important part.
Now, a pilgrimage is also a long journey, but it's totally different. A pilgrimage has a very clear and important purpose. Usually, it's a spiritual trip to a holy place, but really, it can be a journey to any place that has a deep, special meaning for you.
So here's the main difference, plain and simple. With a peregrination, the journey is the point. With a pilgrimage, reaching the destination is the whole reason you're going. One is about the wandering, the other is all about arriving.
Your patrimony is basically everything that's been passed down to you from your family or your culture's past. This could be physical things like property or money, but it also includes cultural things like traditions, language, and art. It's like a gift from your ancestors.
And posterity is the complete opposite. It's not about the past, it's all about the future. Posterity means all the people who will come after us, our kids, our grandkids, and all the generations to come.
So yeah, it really just comes down to time. Patrimony is what we get from the past. Posterity is the future we're working for. Simple as that.
Okay, posthumous. This one's pretty straightforward. If something happens posthumously, it just means it happens after a person has died. You'll hear this a lot when talking about awards or recognition for someone who is no longer with us.
For example, a soldier might receive a medal for their bravery posthumously. Or maybe a famous writer's last book is published after their death. Both of those are posthumous events.
All right, let's dive into our third group. These words are all about what's going on inside our heads. We're talking about ideas, what we believe is true, and sometimes the line between what's real and what isn't.
So let's look at 3 words connected to belief. First, paranoia. This is a really strong, unreasonable feeling that people are against you or trying to harm you, even when there's no proof. Next, we have plausible. If an excuse or a story is plausible, it means it sounds like it could be true. It's believable. And finally, paranormal. This describes anything that science can't explain. You know, things like ghosts, psychic powers, all that supernatural stuff.
Here are 2 more big ideas. A placebo is amazing, actually. It's a fake treatment, like a sugar pill with no medicine in it, but it can make someone feel better just because they believe it will work. That's the placebo effect. Then there's pluralism. This is the idea that a society is stronger when many different groups with different cultures, religions, and backgrounds can all live together while keeping their own unique identities.
Okay, get ready for some high-energy words now. This group is all about action, about doing things, saying things with force, and those sudden bursts of emotion.
Let's start with 3 strong actions. To partition something means to divide it up. You can partition a room with a wall, or in history, whole countries have been partitioned. To plunder is to steal things using force, especially during a war or a riot. And to perpetuate something means to make it continue on and on. For example, spreading lies can perpetuate a negative stereotype.
Now for 2 words about outbursts. A paroxysm is a sudden, uncontrollable burst of something. You could have a paroxysm of coughing, or anger, or even a paroxysm of laughter. Then there's pontificate. This is when someone speaks like they are the ultimate expert on everything, in a really arrogant, all-knowing way.
We're at our final group. Let's wrap things up with some fantastic words that help us describe the world around us, its qualities, materials, and even its difficult situations.
Okay, 3 great descriptive words. Pastoral describes that peaceful, idealized feeling of the countryside. Think rolling hills, sheep, and quiet farm life. Pliable means something is flexible and can be bent easily. Clay is pliable, but so is a person's mind when they're young and open to new ideas. And porous just means something has tiny holes that let stuff pass through, like a sponge, or unfortunately, a cheap raincoat.
You've definitely seen a patina before, even if you didn't know the word for it. It's that greenish or brownish layer that forms on old metal, like copper or bronze, because of age and air. But we also use it to describe that beautiful look of age and history on any old object.
And what's so cool about a patina is that even though it's a sign of aging, it often makes an object look even more beautiful and valuable. It's visible history. You see it on an antique piece of furniture, and of course, the famous green patina on the Statue of Liberty.
Okay, our last word is plight. A plight is not just a little problem. It's a very serious, difficult, and sad situation that someone is stuck in. When you talk about someone's plight, you're usually showing a lot of sympathy for their struggles.
So, let's end with a final thought, using that last word. What is the plight of someone who's trying to learn so many new and difficult words? And maybe more importantly, how can we turn that struggle into a success? Keep practicing, keep learning, and you'll get there.